Welcome one, welcome all to DeFi Crypto and Airdrops. I am Mike, aka Veteran Crypto, and with me in the pink apron is Jeff, aka the Blockchain Reporter.
Kuma Bear.
Puma Bear. Welcome. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into this. Oh man, we got people in pumped out fun watching. Probably just spamming us is all.
Oh, come
So,
on, pumped out fun.
go ahead and tell everybody where you at, man.
Oh, I am in just outside of Tampa, Florida for my cousin's wedding tomorrow. And we've been having quite the fun festivities. We had a little Halloween party a little while ago after their wedding rehearsal. So it's that's why I'm in the apron.
Nice.
And I'll
Nice.
show a picture of my character after I do the socials.
All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the socials and let's kick this thing off. I'm actually kind of excited about this one. I'm actually going to open a position on Glider Live just to test it out, for everybody out there. And then, of course, in the Discord, I'll give updates. So if you're not a member of the Discord, I'm sure Jeff will get into it. But if you're not a member of the Discord, definitely jump in there. And yeah, go ahead, kick it off, brother.
Sweet, you got my screen pulled up?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
I'm working on one screen.
Used to you having all
Let me
the
make sure.
functionalities and stuff. All right, here we go. Let me hide mine. There you go. There's you.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, welcome everyone. Happy Halloween. Hope you're not too full on candy, but hopefully you got a little sugar high going on so you can stay energized with us. But here at DeFi Crypto and Airdrops, where me and Mike go live every Tuesday and Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And Mike also goes live other days throughout the week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific with the DeFi Masterclass with David and Jake, and Money Talks at 10 a.m. Pacific on Mondays. And he's got interviews that are going to be dropping on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Pacific. And there are some powerful tools that David and Jake bring to the DCA team or ecosystem. One is Metrics Finance, and you can find all the links down in the description below. You can get $200 off a year off of the Metrics Finance pricing, but start with the free version, see how you like it. They have monthly and yearly subscriptions. But like I said, you get $200 off for a full year. And if you find value in the free version, you can bump it up. But there are some videos that are on Jake Call's Metrics Finance and stuff, and this episode's really great for
the elite package discount is only going to be good till the end of November. I'm definitely not saying rush out and get it. I know it's a lot of money. Again, use the free version. Go to Metrics Finance on YouTube, watch the tutorials, learn how to use it. Make sure that it's going to make you money. Don't just, even though we get a little bit of money if you join, it doesn't mean that we want you to just go and get it. Make sure that it's valuable to you. If it's valuable to you, if it makes you more than it costs you or saves you more than it costs you, absolutely then do it. Nothing that we do here, we want you to rush out and get unless it brings you value. So sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, thanks for that, Mike. Very important. And this is the Metrics Finance YouTube page that you can go and check out all the features and get familiar with it. And Jake Call's DeFi Income page is right here on our brother channels, and David's DeFi University. And check out the Blockchain Basement and Discover Crypto for latest in crypto news and degen takes. And also David's got his DeFi University right here, $97 a month. And they do Monday through Friday daily mentorships that are live.
Live video calls. He puts out great content. And
you've been in there, right?
What's that?
You've been in that quite a bit, right?
I try to get in there every day whenever I'm not. I've been busy outside clearing, on the property lately and burning, so I haven't been able to make all of them. But DeFi Don in the chat, he's in there every time I've logged in. He's in there. But great content, and again, it's a live call. You can raise your hand, and ask questions or give input, whatever. It's just a roundtable forum. David just leads the conversation, but great content in there. Highly suggest it. He's actually built out programs for other major DeFi channels. So
Oh,
um,
wow.
yeah, so David is a great resource, and $97 a month is a freaking bargain. I mean, there's some
Hmm.
people out there that are charging $5,000 to $10,000 a year for
Yeah.
for less than what David offers.
Well, and the 6 mastery courses too take you from beginner to advanced. Um,
Mhm.
and even Mike, you have your DeFi Academy right here that is for free. Start from here.
The
The
bare
basics of
basics.
DeFi, bare basics, hot
Yeah.
cold wallets, DeFi toolbox and aggregators, Aerodrome tutorials, and so all this stuff we're trying to bring you for free before you even think about signing up for premium stuff. So we want to make sure that we're providing value for you and that all this stuff is beneficial in helping you on your DeFi journey. Um, and also, you can catch us on Twitter, the_only_DCA. Mike is at Veteran for Crypto, and I'm at the BCR142. And we're on Pump.Fun. Hopefully that we're not just getting spammed by people in here, but and we have a free Discord. Let me pull this up. Our free Discord right here. So many awesome people in the chat asking questions, sharing alpha. Me and Mike have been getting all kinds of project information and people sharing, hey, look at this project and look at this airdrop, and just amazing people in the community just sharing all kinds of stuff that because we can't be everywhere all at once. it's
No,
a lot of
but
it's a lot of work. So
I mean, they'll share like pools that are earning really well for them, on
hmm.
different protocols, maybe protocols that I'm not using or looking at. So there's something for everybody in there. I'm very bullish on base network and base DeFi, but there's a lot
Yep.
of people in our chat that are, they're across the full spectrum. So yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, it's you're gonna see and you're gonna hear a lot of different viewpoints in there, and we don't always agree. But you know what? As long as people are profitable, that's all that matters.
Yes. Yeah. It's just awesome. So we appreciate all of you that are in there. And I just want to take, since it's Halloween, it is the 15th anniversary of when I attended the World Series and the Giants won. So I'm just going to say, back in 2010. And my Halloween costume is a guy named Ishiki Satoshi from an anime called Food Wars. And yes, he is bare bottom underneath this, but I am wearing shorts. So, because I am around family, I can't go balls out. But yeah, it's an anime where they cook food that's so good it makes you orgasm. So yeah. But it's not hentai. It's not hentai. It's actual legitimate anime. So,
If
but
you
there we
say
go.
so.
Happy Halloween, y'all. Nice little treat for y'all.
Well, I guess let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's actually kick it off. I like to always see how
Yeah, you got
Miles
your
is
setup, right?
progressing. Yeah, well, let me see. I always like to see, how Miles is progressing. So let's go ahead and kick that
Oh yeah.
off. Let me know if you can hear him. He's connecting.
Here, I'm gonna kick off my screen real quick so that way
Yeah.
Just
I'm
checking.
gonna.
Sometimes the connection,
Hey,
He's
Miles.
you
good.
know.
So we're live right now with Jeff and the crew, and I'm curious. So we are about to talk about a project called Glider Protocol. It's built on Base Network. It just went live, I believe it was yesterday, and it is basically a DeFi protocol that automates your portfolio, so you can add liquidity, and it will actually manage your portfolio, compound, do everything for you. Are you able to look online and find that protocol?
Gotcha. Glider protocol on base. Let me pull that up real
The
quick.
website is glider.fi.
Glider.fi. All right, yeah, see it. Huh. So it's kind of like a robo-advisor, but for DeFi. Interesting. It looks pretty clean. What are you hoping I dig up specifically? Just the general overview, or are you looking for something deeper?
Yeah, let's do the general overview. So just kind of give us a rundown of what exactly it is, what it does, and then, a little bit about the team and if there's a token, if there is a token, what's the tokenomics, just, the usual stuff that we do.
Our usual stuff. Fair enough. So, from what I'm seeing, Glider Protocol aims to simplify yield farming and portfolio management on Base. You deposit into vaults, and it automatically rebalances and compounds your positions to maximize returns, which sounds convenient, honestly. They're positioning it as a set it and forget it kind of thing for DeFi, which, is appealing. They have different vaults focused on stablecoins, LPs, and restaking. As for the team, that's a little light on the website, honestly. It says they're a team of DeFi veterans and researchers, but not a lot of names attached. Seems pretty common, sadly. And yes, there's a token Glide. They launched it yesterday alongside the protocol. The tokenomics, from what I can gather, is 800 million total supply. Looks like about 40% is for community airdrops and rewards, 25% to investors, 20% to the team with vesting, and 15% to the Glider Foundation. They also have a burn mechanism with transaction fees. It's a fairly standard distribution. Nothing immediately jumps out as crazy.
So I'm seeing that the two of the gentlemen that founded Glider is it looks like Brian and John. Are you able to find anything on Brian and John?
And they don't have a token yet, do they?
Okay, so Brian
They
is
do.
Brian.
Oh, they do.
Fair. Okay, so Brian Liu. LinkedIn shows he was previously at Citadel Securities. Lots of quant stuff there. And before that, some research at Berkeley. Seems legit. John Backus. Okay, his LinkedIn is a bit more sparse. Shows experience at a couple of startups and some work with blockchain stuff, but not a ton of detail. Seems like he's more of a technical founder type. Both seem to be based in the Bay Area, which tracks. Not a ton of publicly available info, but not immediately raising any red flags, Does that align with what you're seeing?
It does. I appreciate it, Miles. So one thing I do want to start out with when it comes to Glider is I actually ran across to where they just recently partnered with Plume. So basically, do I still got Miles going? Okay, no, I don't. Basically Glider is partnered up with Plume to where it looks like they're going to integrate Plume and the Plume portal, Plume network, and all the different DeFi protocols. So all the RWA, platforms, all that different stuff, you're going to be able to put into this. So this is the Glider platform. So before we went live, I connected a wallet. Of course, not my main wallet. Jeff always talks about with airdrops and new protocols, is you always want to make sure that you use a separate wallet from your main wallet. So I connected a separate wallet. I sent some funds from my main wallet to this wallet, just like $20, just so I can, open up a position, kind of show you how it all works. But basically what it is you build out basically a workflow. So you can pick this little plus symbol. You basically click on that. And then from that, you select a block. So you can select an asset. You can select a weight. You can select, an if or, else. If, this happens, you do this. So like if it goes out of range, it rebalances, whatever. You have filters, deck screener, Cato AI. So AI pick tokens via Cato, updated automatically. So you can have it to where it's just always looking for new tokens to invest your funds in. Earning yield, earn yield inside your portfolio, and then custom use third-party blocks for advanced strategies. This sounds a lot like hooks. I would be very careful with this until you do a good amount of research, because using anything third party, somebody could actually write in malicious code. So, anything
Yeah.
third party, always be careful with that. So basically what I did is I took $20 of Arrow and dropped it in here. And so actually, we'll just do this all over again. So basically what I did is you can do it to where it will basically balance out everything equally. So all the assets you choose, it will just constantly work to grow all of them equally. Or you can do a specified percentage. And there's some other options as well. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an asset, and I'm going to use Arrow, and then I'm going to do a little bit of USDC as well. And I'm going to say that I want my portfolio to stay 80% Arrow and 20% USDC. So as this grows, potentially I could, always have dry powder available. So,
Mm-hmm.
what I want to do is I keep on thinking that you're Miles, because your sound is different. But so yeah, I mean, basically that's it. But I mean, there is other assets. So you got Ethereum on base, you got of course Coinbase on base, or Bitcoin on base, Coinbase wrapped staked Ethereum. You have Aerodrome, Degen, Zora, Hire, DAI stablecoin, compounding open dollar, Morpho, Noise, Well, Solana, Sui,
Noise.
exactly, Banker Coin, Wrapped Ether, and Brett. And then they don't have them live yet, but Polygon Chain is coming, ARB is coming, Optimism is
Mm.
coming. What is that? Is that Binance? Whatever that
Oh,
is.
Blast. That's Blast.
Okay, Blast,
Yeah.
Ethereum, and I think this is Linea.
Yeah, that's
And then, of
Linea.
course, Plume that I mentioned is going to be going. So eventually,
Ooh.
like say Plume was on here, and I wanted to do like in alpha, or in credit, or something off of Nest. Then basically I could select that asset if I wanted to build that asset. As time goes on, and I haven't gone like super deep on this, but potentially, because of the way this is built out with the different commands, you
Hmm.
can do looping. So, like Aave and things like that, once they onboard onto this thing,
Uh,
then you would be able to say, okay, my USDC, I don't just want my USDC to sit here. So as my USDC builds, I want to lend it on Aave. And as I lend it on Aave, I want to take out, say, a max of 20% or 30% to reinvest, or, whatever. You could build out that automation to where basically it will manage your portfolio as if you were doing it. It will carry it out the way that you want it to carry out, while you go about your daily, whatever. You have something, Jeff?
I'm looking at this if else condition. I mean, this is fucking crazy. Just
Do you want to
this is so powerful.
do you want to show up your screen, because you're probably more familiar with a lot of this?
um
Here, I'll
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
There you
Here,
go.
I'm gonna put up the tab that I'm looking at, so that way I can. Yeah, can you see the tab? So you can create your portfolio, but this create feature has this if condition, if else, and you can set to where if a certain function, if the current price of the asset is like greater or less than
Yeah.
the mark, like, so you can customize it so like specific, and almost like a trading bot in a way, and you can set up multiple ones of these, right? Like, is what it looks like.
Yeah, no. You can do multiple portfolios. So you can do a trading portfolio, you can do a DeFi portfolio, you can do a HODL portfolio, you can do your ladder out strategy. So like like if you put all of your assets in here, or the assets that you wanted to sell, like if this market ever takes off, then you could say like Arrow, if it reaches $5, I want to sell 20%. If it reaches $6, I want to sell another 20%. And you can just automate your ladder out strategy. So like if you're sleeping and it spikes, and like how the market dumped, like I mean you could even have where your USDC is sitting here, and you could program it to where say that you were bullish on Atom, and Atom it dipped to it glitched to zero during that big liquidation event. So if you would have had a buy order in,
Yeah.
just waiting, and it dipped down and it triggered that buy order, you could have bought a shit ton of freaking Atom or some other projects on the dip, on that spike. So I mean, you could have all that built in. If it never hits, your money doesn't go anywhere. But if it dips down and and it triggers that automation, then boom, it buys. So
Whew.
this is something I'm actually really excited about. I was trying to find where I could buy some glider. I found a pool on Uniswap, but there's nothing in it yet. So I wasn't able to swap or do anything as of
Uh,
yet. There was no
I looked
liquidity.
on CoinGecko and Coin or Crypto Rank, and I didn't see the glider token yet. So I did see on Crypto Rank that there is a here. I'm gonna share this tab real quick. So this is the glider page on Crypto Rank, and they've had a point farming campaign since June. But the thing is, they just opened this to the public, so it was like a private, I guess, a private beta
Mm-hmm.
testing. So they have, I guess, a point farming campaign. So
You
you
can
can
still earn
earn.
points right now. So
Okay.
for every dollar that you have on the platform, you earn 1 point per day. So like $20, you get 20 points per day.
Nice.
$100, 100 points per day. What that is going to amount to, I do not know. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I just started, doing some deep diving on this today. Um, I'm going to start farming it though. I want to start earning points. But yeah, keep going. I
Yep.
mean, I wasn't able to find what you're looking at. So yeah, there's like
Yeah.
L's.
So so when you go to the create, right, you can do set weighting type by equal
Mhm,
weight for your assets, a specified percentage, or by market cap.
mhm.
Um, and this block right here, add the block. So you can do asset to asset, a weighted allocation, decide the balance between your
Yeah,
assets, and
and
then
then
this
if
if
else.
else condition. So if this happens, do that. And this you can set up super. So if condition, and they have these functions, current price, current market cap. So if whatever this function is of this asset, let's say USDC, we'll pick a USDC for, come on. Oh, I think I have to choose a function.
Yeah, you
So
have to
let's say
choose
if
a
the
function.
volume of USDC is greater than or less than, let's say, oh shit, the volume of Ethereum. So you can get super. I mean, if you really want to become a robot, you would have to. So or else,
There's a
shit.
lot of this that that I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't delve into, but what I'm excited about is the potential of this, because this it removes a lot of the barriers to entry for people like me. Like, I mean, I use AI quite a bit, but there's a lot of people that are really good with like the AI bots, like
Mm-hmm.
virtuals and building AI bots and stuff like that. And it's something I haven't messed with yet. And honestly, it's not something that I would trust myself to do. That's kind of why I liked Mamo so much, is it was just turnkey. This
Yeah.
is basically what I imagine, somewhat behind the scenes, what what Mammo is. But I believe that this will be like Mammo on steroids. And basically just with a couple of clicks, again, you can build out, like say this is going to be my DeFi portfolio. Then I can just put all my different assets in here and I can tell it, hey, this is what I want you to do with it. But I want you to make sure that you keep Arrow as 80% of my portfolio. I want you to make sure that you keep USDC as 20% of my portfolio. So if as Arrow starts earning, it's going to be constantly shaving off profits into USDC. So it'll basically be DCAing me out into USDC. And then if the market dumps, then I can automate to where, and I can do that price, that if else that Jeff was just showing, that if Arrow drops below $1, then I want to, buy more Arrow. And so I can build that in. So it's just constantly building up the USDC as Arrow goes up. It's taking profits into USDC. And then it's always, plussing up my Arrow bag. So this potentially could be a way to build your bags amongst many, many other, other goals, that you might have.
Ooh.
I'm just
Yeah, like right here, if current price of Arrow is less than a fixed value, you can where's you can buy.
Oh, there you go. Your video and sound went out, but we still saw your screen with your mouse moving around.
Okay. Yeah, if current price of Arrow is less than $1, you can
there you go.
I guess buy,
Yeah.
I'd have to see how this thing actually works. Yeah, the if else, because
I would hit the plus sign under weight equal.
yeah, because DeFi Don said this is like coding on lag flow, or without having to code on lang flow.
Basically, what this is doing is it's the same thing as like Windows and stuff like that is. It's a GUI. It's a graphical user interface. So whenever you're clicking on things, on Windows or whatever, it used to be back in the day before Windows, you had to actually type in commands. All it's doing whenever you have Windows and you double click on something, it just has pre-programmed commands in there and it just does it for you. So that's what made Windows so powerful back in the day. Is before you'd have to sit there and basically type out lines of code to do things, whereas like with this, instead of having to go in there and like write a whole program to trade for you, you just do little drop downs and just do select the different things and it does it for you.
Okay. Yeah, and I've never heard of Langflow. And yeah, it is like, what the Better Try Again said, this is like smart contracts without coding. So yeah, it's, taking that that barrier to entry out. That's just like, hey, I want to set this up. That's, if I'm outside doing work or don't want to be at the computer, this is fantastic. But this if else might take some learning. Weighted allocation. The deck screener one I'm interested in. So this is dynamic filter. Auto update tokens from deck screener.
Well, go ahead and fidget around with that real quick. Yeah. I'm actually going to execute this.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
So I got, like I said, it's just $20. So I got 80% of it I'm going to put in Arrow, and 20% I'm going to put into USDC. So let's fund it. So you can see so that's going to put $18.55 into Arrow and $19.72 into USD. So let's deposit. Let's ignore all. Confirm. All right. Schedule my portfolio. All right. There we go. Current value $19.72. So I'll be earning 19 points per day. Okay, and then if I wanted to deposit more, it looks like I can use a credit card. I can transfer from Coinbase because this Glider is on Base Network. This is another one that we could be really bullish on with the Base app that's coming out in a couple of weeks. So Glider is built on Base. This is that's one of the reasons I'm bullish on it. I'm a bit of a Base whore. So you can do a crypto transfer from Coinbase, or use a credit card, which is new. A lot of historically, credit card companies did not like people using credit cards for crypto. So, I'll keep an update on how this goes. So right now it's an aerodrome. I have $15.78 because I said I wanted 80%, and USDC, I have about $4. So you can see I've lost 0.75% on the hour, but 24 hours, I've earned 3.61%. It's what Arrow has, done, not my portfolio, but Arrow itself. One token deposit. Let's see what else we can see here. Rebalances every hour. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. So it looks like it rebalances every hour. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. It really is going to depend on if there's fees attached to that.
Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want to get nickeled and dimed
Well, especially
every
when I'm
time it.
$20.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. But I mean, this might be, depending on how this evolves, this might be something that I use through the bear market. Either starting now, or if we ever get an alt season, once the actual bear market actually comes, I might use this for some of my long-term strategy. Just to make sure that I'm optimizing my earning. If this is able to leverage Morpho and Moonwell and Aerodrome and all the different base plays, plus it looks like we were covering before, they're adding Polygon, they're adding Blast, they're adding Ethereum, potentially Plume. So, all the different Plume plays that we love, like maybe Ambient, Nest, just, all the different, stuff that we do over there to earn yield. So that would be great.
Yeah, what was that partnership?
So basically the partnership is that they're basically integrating Plume onto this platform. So, just like we were talking about how there's, Blast and Ethereum and, Polygon and, all those different chains that are going to be launched on here soon. Plume is one of those. They're just in the process of, programming that in to, onboarding them. So that, for me, that's going to be huge, because I would love to be able to deposit my Plume somewhere and select, like all the different things that I like on Plume Network. But with as young as the Plume Network is, the APRs and stuff fluctuate so much that I would love to have something automated that I can just tell it that, hey, I want you to optimize this to earn as much Plume and stack as much Plume as possible. Or I want you to, structure this to where it's going to earn as much Plume as possible until Plume reaches this price point. And then I want you to sell 20% of it. And then if it reaches this price point, sell 20% more. Just like I have built out in my ladder out strategy, to try to get my $300,000 to $500,000 that I'm trying to get, so this will allow you to automate your take profit strategy. This will allow you to automate your borrowing and lending strategies. This will allow you to automate your trading. This will be able to let you automate every aspect of your investing, potentially. I mean, obviously it's not there yet, but I understand the architecture of this, and I'm sure Jeff understands it much deeper. And so I'll pass it off to you. But when I look at these projects, I look at the potential. You definitely want to look at what they actually have going for it, but it isn't that far of a leap. They've done the heavy lifting. It's not that far of a leap to add in RWAs on this, especially when they add Bloom. So you have RWAs, you have DeFi, you have all the major chains, you have all the major protocols. It's on base, so fees are going to be cheap. I mean, the more I talk about it, the more bullish I'm getting on it.
Yeah, and with the base app, like you said, coming out, you're going to have access to this app and others. But having this, I just did a deposit, and it set it up from my wallet right there. You can create your portfolio like Mike did, and it'll have your wallet linked, and you can deposit right here into your portfolio on Glider with just basically one or two clicks, and you don't have to send funds around and do all this dancing and singing. And like Mike was saying, and I think we were talking about this earlier this year about having an automated DeFi portfolio that you can just set certain parameters and hit execute, and it can run everything in the background. But yeah, like you said, the one concern, it would be the fees if you have too many rebalancing and every day. I think with VFAT you were talking about that the auto compound and auto rebalancing would kind of.
VFAT has some not crazy expensive, but it's a decent percentage. And when you start dealing with larger and larger amounts of money, that fee goes up because it's a percentage of the deposit or the withdrawal or the rebalance. So if you have $50,000 in there and or say $100,000 and it's even if it's 1%, what is that? That's $100.
Yeah.
No, that
when you
could
said
be $1,000.
0.25 is what you want to, or what you recommended changing that fee to, right? Because it's default 0.5%.
Well, that's not the fee.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's something else. But
The slippage.
yeah, the fees are separate from that. So there's a lot of different things that can add up. But 1% of $100,000 is $1,000. So I mean, even if it's a 1% fee to rebalance,
Shit.
if you're paying $1,000 every time you rebalance and it keeps going out of range because it's a volatile pool, there's $1,000, there's $1,000, there's $1,000, there's $1,000. It can add up quick along with the other fees, that are along with that. Like say it's on the Ethereum mainnet and it's volatile because the network's busy. Sometimes that can be $100 a pop. So, okay, now you got $1,100, and sometimes there's multiple transactions that have to be done. So maybe it's $1,200 or $1,300 every time. You really need to understand, and I was watching a video on Glider, the founders, right before we went live, and supposedly for the short term at least, they said that for the beta that they're going to be paying everyone's gas fees for them.
Damn. Okay.
So it's supposed to be gasless transactions. So we'll see what happens with that. So the way that I have this set up right now is I'm not trading this. This isn't in DeFi. This is basically like a HODL portfolio, to where it's going to consistently keep, like if Aerodrome goes up, it's going to start selling off Aerodrome to keep it at 80% and to keep the USDC at 20%. So as Arrow goes up, it's going to sell Arrow into USDC. If Arrow goes down, hold on. If Arrow goes up, it's going to sell off into USDC. If Arrow goes down, it's going to sell off USDC into Arrow. So it's almost like a liquidity pool, the way that I got it set up right now, but I'm not earning fees. So I just wanted to show you the functionality and show you, kind of, what it is, and what the potential is. I'll probably spend a little bit more time with this after we're done with the show, and go through and kind of figure out how I can actually do some DeFi, a DeFi strategy or something with this. But as it sits right now, the only thing I'm doing is just keeping an 80-20 balance.
Oh, yeah. Better try again was saying, should we look at a base portfolio? I mean, base is going to be a staple. Once it's just got so much going for it, and the assets on there are crushing it. And the DeFi is
pretty much most of my portfolio is base plays. And I just see where Coinbase is making a very focused effort to make base the low cost, as far as gas fees, the low cost go-to for DeFi. And I keep seeing this is the second place that I've found a cross integration with Plume. So Morpho, if those of you that don't remember, Morpho is on Plume Network. And then what else was there? Now there's Glider that's going to be on Plume Network. And there was one other one. Was it Moonwell?
There's
I know Morpho was. Here, you go ahead and mess around with some of those.
Yeah, and does anyone know what X402 is? I keep seeing this around, but I haven't looked into it at all. The X402 project. Yeah, I'm not sure, Stan. Because I know they've talked about it on Discover. Let's check out this Explorer.
X402 Coinbase connection. Never heard of it, Stan. Stan's always asking really good questions and bringing really good alpha, though.
We'll put that on the list for sure.
Yeah.
And Seamless was one.
Oh, there's a new name.
So we got the Big Five.
Adamanav 10,000.
Adamanav. Welcome.
Let's see.
Yeah, and Seth Shepard said he's got that 1K he's ready to put to use. So
let's do this real quick. Let me bring up
the KTA wrapped ETH pool has been pretty decent.
Oh shit! Where'd you find that?
No, not in here. On VFAT.
No, what you're looking at right now on your screen.
Oh, in the Explorer. Yeah, they have Big Five, 50/50 Bitcoin ETH, DeFi token mix, and they have trending portfolios right here too. Virtuals ecosystem. Let's check this out. So, you can copy people's portfolios.
Yeah, no, I can actually send you, share it. If I build something out and you like it, I can actually send it to you. You can click on it and it will automatically build it out for you. And all you have to do is fund it.
Wow. That's incredible.
Trending
Holy shit,
tokens, 50/50 Bitcoin.
13K month return.
Oh, DeFi token. Oh, and there's Pendle. I see Pendle on here.
Oh shit. Yeah, DeFi token mix. Okay. Morpho and Moonwell. Yep. Let's see. This is, we'll make a deposit. So create your portfolio, and this is the deposit right here. So you can.
So yeah, this one will
put in. Ooh. Oh, so I could deposit from Arbitrum.
Morpho, Pendle, and Well. Pendle, that is cool. Those of you that don't know,
Pendle, David's favorite.
Well, Pendle is a very, very unique protocol. with its yield bearing token, separating that out, and it allows for a lot of cool advanced strategies. That's why David loves it so much. So if Pendle is a part of this, this could get really interesting for advanced strategies.
Dude, that's cool. Yeah, I just created my DeFi token mix. So I deposited Ethereum from Arbitrum. I didn't even have to have it on base.
Yeah, no,
So,
like I said, I didn't know that it was live yet, but yeah, there's Arb, there's Blast, there's Ethereum mainnet, there's a couple of different ones. Polygon, again, Plume is going to be on here soon.
No, I think that's I think you can deposit from any of those or from other, even not on that list. But
Yeah,
I think
just
the DeFi
it's
stuff isn't active yet.
well, it's just basically what they're trying to do is the video that I watched, it's they want to make it to where it's easy, like as far as bridging and stuff like that, it's bridgeless. So if you have
Okay.
liquidity on Arb or Blast or Ethereum or whatever, you can just select that liquidity, and if it's on, like say it's a bunch of base DeFi, if it's Morpho and Moonwell and Pendle and all these different ones, it will just automatically do all that for you. So you don't have to worry about bridging. You don't have to worry about gas. Like if you have the right gas, it will do all that for you. So that is what's really cool about this, and that's honestly like why I'm getting so excited about this is with that new Base app and with Coinbase and this being on Base Network. I see this as, again, making it frictionless, removing those barriers to entry for the people that aren't super crypto savvy. So if this is integrated into the new Base app or on the Coinbase platform, and you just have something like this to where you can just look at high performing portfolios, people that have invested in, say a basket of base DeFi, and you want to do the same thing and you just have a bunch of USDC, then you can just click on that like Jeff just did, create that portfolio, and then all you have to do is fund it. So you can fund it from any of the protocols or any of the chains that are integrated into this. So if it's Base, if it's Ethereum, if it's Arbitrum, if it's Plume, if it's Ethereum, Blast, whatever it is, and it will just automatically bridge that liquidity over, pay for the gas fees, do everything. It's just click, click, boom, and you're done. It's this type of thing is the future of DeFi. All of this complicated, wallets and bridging and where do I go to find the right bridge to, from this network to this network?
Oh God, yeah.
Painful.
Painful.
It took me forever to figure out where to go to get plasma. And it was deep bridge, but it's like, okay, which one? So you have to go around and, okay, is it wormhole? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? And it takes a bunch of time to figure out where to go to actually do the process, let alone knowing how to do it. And then, then God forbid somewhere along the way, there's an exploit or you didn't read something and you clicked and, you just spent $200 in Ethereum on gas or, things like this is going to greatly increase confidence for people that aren't crypto savvy.
Oh yeah. Oh, so X402 is the new AI coin standard.
Oh, interesting.
Hopefully that's not going to be the new ISO, whatever, fucking. Better try again. The scam sniffer is kind of a security check that will make sure sites are legit and not like spammy. And I have this pocket universe as well that is it kind of shows, it simulates a transaction in your wallet. Rabby does the same thing, but it shows you the simulation of what your transaction is before it executes. But Scam Sniffer and Pocket Universe is some great tools for you to just a couple steps before you actually submit your transaction. That way you can see what's going on and that you're not going to get scammed or lose a lot of money. Oh yeah, and rebalance. This, it looks like rebalance every hour, or you can rebalance now if you want.
Yeah, and so basically, like mine, whenever it's rebalancing, it's just rebalancing to keep that 80-20 split. Because I didn't put any other logic in there. It was just I want it to be 80%, 20%. That's all I put. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, I'm going to dive deeper, after the show because I really want to learn this at a deep level. And this is cool because I'm like
Mm-hmm.
watching this, as we're talking, I'm watching my points collect. I'm up to half a point right now. Because there's
Oh
like a
yeah,
boost.
getting your points.
Well, it's boosted. So, like since they just barely launched, you get a I forget what it is. I think it's like a 7x boost or something like that on points that you earn.
Oh, nice.
So,
Nice.
like I said, I mean, I'm wanting to test this out. Being as new as it is, I don't want to put a ton of liquidity on here, but I definitely gonna try to build a bag of this glider, depending on. Actually, you know what? Let's ask Miles.
Yeah, and thanks for that, Deadwood. Yeah, Scam Sniffer also shows bad social media posts and shows coins that get busted for scamming. So it
Yeah.
shows up on Twitter too.
All right, happy Friday. What's cooking?
Hey, Miles. So we were talking about glider a minute ago. Do you remember that conversation?
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, Glider, the auto compounding DeFi thing on base.
That's the
Definitely
one.
remember digging into that.
So we didn't get
So,
into tokenomics. So I know that the coin just barely launched like yesterday, but can you tell us anything about the utility of the token? I mean, is there going to be any kind of staking or is it going to be used for governance or what is the token going to be used for?
okay, so digging in, it looks like the Glide token's kind of central to everything. They're positioning it as like the key to unlocking boosted yields on the platform. From what I'm seeing, you'll need to stake it to get a share of the protocol fees, which sounds like the main utility. There's also talk of governance down the line, but that's a bit further out. Right now, it's mostly about staking for fee share and increasing your APY. And anything else you want to focus on with it?
No, that's great. Thanks. So don't don't quote Miles on that. I need to dive into it, but if it's true, that would be interesting. Basically for buying and staking, potentially to earn with your glider token, then it would boost your earning. Oh shit, I'm up 2 cents. I've earned
Oh,
two
nice.
cents so far. So so yeah, I mean that would potentially be very beneficial. So depending on how much it boosts your yield. So let's do this real
Now
quick.
I'm looking in their help or their FAQ, and it says there is no token associated with Glider. If this changes, it will be communicated through our official channels. So anyone offering you or mentioning a Glider token is a scam. And I'm looking on Twitter, and I don't see anything
Are
about
you are you
um,
sure?
a token
Because
yet. Yeah,
I'll show you on Uniswap,
yeah. Let me see what they got.
and you could be 100% right, and you probably are, but like here, I'll show you on Uniswap. Um,
Let's.
Oh no, it wasn't there. Where was it? I saw it. Oh yeah, I know where it was. And this could be a scam. So right here, oh sorry, right here is it has the symbol, has glider. We need to check the address to make sure it's right. But then I go to like you can see here that on Uniswap there's a glider wrapped ETH pool, but it doesn't have any liquidity in it yet because it's a new token. But you go to trade, and it brings this up. But yeah,
Oh, and you can
whenever
put the contract address in there.
yeah, let's try that. Let's copy this and come here and paste this. Okay, malicious token detected. So Glider has been flagged as malicious by Blockade. I have seen this though. Usually,
On
like
others.
sometimes when tokens are just new.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you can see, and again, somebody could have just made this to scam people. So, but I was looking to see if there was a token because on their website it didn't say anything. But Jeff, you were saying that, let's go ahead and bring up your screen. You were saying that there was somewhere where.
Yeah. So here, I'll show you can you see my page?
Yep.
Yeah, right here on the help, it pulls up this glider FAQ, and they have the frequently asked questions, and does glider have a token? And they said that not at the moment.
Okay.
Have they been audited? So they use zero dev kernel wallet and leading DEX aggregators for their smart contracts. And their points, they have points and referrals right here.
Yeah, Joseph says no token listed on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. I found it on. I found a glider token on CoinMarketCap, but from what Jeff is showing off of their site, this must just be somebody looking to scam people because it looks like it pumped and somebody dumped it. It pumped again. Somebody freaking sucked the liquidity out. People put liquidity in, somebody sucked it right back out. So this actually does look kind of scammy because, just any time any liquidity is deposited, somebody's sucking it out. So yeah, do not freaking interact with this. You can see here that,
That's the
people
bad kind of sucking.
yeah, a lot of sucking going on.
Not the good kind.
Not the good kind. So yeah, according to what Jeff found. Oh shit, my screen wasn't up. Basically, there was big green candles, and immediately after there was big red candles, and then there would be another big green candle, and then another big red candle, and so every time liquidity was put in, somebody was taking the liquidity out.
Yeah, and you
DeFi
definitely
found.
want to do some have that as part of your investigative strategy. Go through all these CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, and CryptoRank, and Dex Screener, and make sure that it doesn't look scammy. Because if it does look scammy, it probably is.
Well, and again, that's why we love doing these deep dives. So we can find some of this stuff for you, because when you're new, even if you're a little bit seasoned or salty, it's kind of hard to figure some of this stuff out. I mean, again, that's why I'm so bullish on these projects that make it easier for new people, because there's so many people that come into crypto and they'll see something like, oh yeah, Glider's a cool project, I'm going to go buy the token, and they see the symbol, they see that it's on Uniswap, and they see it's on CoinMarketCap, and there's like, oh yeah, this must be it, and they buy some, and then somebody sucks the liquidity out, and there goes your money. So it's just like, okay, crypto's a scam. It's like, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of crypto that's a scam. Is all of crypto a scam? No, but that's their experience. So these projects, that are allowing basically firewalls, because it like, say somebody comes into crypto and they deposit liquidity onto Coinbase, and say that Glider is integrated into Coinbase. There's going to be, I don't want to say no way, but a lot less ways that scammers can access that new person's liquidity, because they would have to hack Coinbase and put something malicious in there to, to basically steal that person's money. If they're on Coinbase and they're not using wallets and they're not, having to click and sign and do all these different things, if just on the Coinbase platform, they're just saying, I have 1,000 USDC, I want to put it in this portfolio. It's going to do these automations, bing, bang, boom, done. You don't have to worry about it. You can be new and you can feel confident that your money's going where you want it to go and it's going to do what you want it to do. Whereas right now, you have to onboard your dirty fiat, onto Coinbase. And then you have to, send it to a hot wallet or a cold wallet. And then from there, you need to connect to a protocol. And then from there, you need to deposit that. And that might involve a bunch of swaps or bridging. And then from there, once it's in there, then you got to manage it. And there's all these different things that you have to do. And if you start getting errors, or your wallet's not connecting, or they do some kind of upgrade and it's not letting you connect anymore, or you need a VPN because wherever you're at, you're not allowed to fucking interact with that protocol anymore because overnight they decided that they were going to implement something. All these things that we deal with day in and day out. And why, our Discord is so great and, being part of community is so great is you have a wealth of knowledge to draw from. But these things, and I want you all to understand that, this is my vision and this is what is the motivator for me to have the bullishness I do on certain projects or certain chains. And that's why I love Base so much, is because it is directly connected to Coinbase. Coinbase is sitting at the table with US regulators, drafting policy, basically drafting crypto law. They are going to stay compliant. They're going to ensure that, it's, as much scamminess is eliminated from the process, because they want crypto to be the future of finance. They want DeFi and RWAs to be the future of finance. And it can't do that unless they can make it as safe as possible. It needs to have the guardrails. It needs to have the legislation. It needs to have the insurance. It needs to have, people's confidence if it's going to be the future of finance. And Coinbase understands that, and they're going to curate that. And so if it's going to be a part of their platform or a part of their app, I'm going to be bullish on it, because it means that there's going to be more people that are confident with putting their liquidity into it. And the more liquidity there is, the more volume there is. The more volume there is, the more fees that are being earned. The more fees that are being earned, the more money that me and you are making. That is why I'm so bullish on Base and why I'm so laser focused. Arbitrum's great. Ethereum's great. All these other ones are great, but they're not Base. They do not have the direct line to the average person's liquidity that Base is going to have. People were bullish on Aster, with BNB. Aster does not have the integration with BNB that, say, Avantis is going to have with Coinbase. Everyone's ignoring Avantis. I'm building a huge bag of Avantis right now because I see that Avantis is going to be the perps DEX for the Coinbase app and for Coinbase. This is going to be the automation that is going to allow for automated portfolio management and investing and ladder out strategies and trading and hodling and all these different things. Mammo is going to be the AI that is going to optimize your Mammo, your Bitcoin, your USDC on Moonwell. Morpho is going to facilitate your Bitcoin loans. If you want to lend out or borrow off of your Bitcoin, they're already doing it on Coinbase with Morpho. It's just all these different things are just I cannot stress it enough.
Yeah, and keeping it simple, like you said, laser focus on one thing if you have to, one ecosystem, a small handful of tokens and plays, because if you just try and do everything at the same time, you're gonna get flustered and frustrated, and there's not enough liquidity to spread around everywhere. So if you can focus on something like this where it has the financial legislation that they're working on, Coinbase, Brian Armstrong is in DC all the time and on Wall Street and shit. So you want people who are involved, like Plume, Plume on the RWA side, they're heavy in it and working on, like, they built the network to have the what is it, the stuff already integrated with it, the compliance. They're already compliance ready, so people aren't running around having to go back and fix their blockchain because they're not regulatory compliant. So find these good projects that are worth investing in and stick with them and build your bags. Don't just jump from one thing to another. So
here you go. From Plume Network. Glider builds automated, and it's something I didn't mention, non-custodial. Glider is non-custodial. So Glider builds automated non-custodial. It means that if the platform goes down, you don't lose your assets. You keep custody of your assets. Huge. Again, this is a theme I keep seeing on all of these base protocols is Mammo, non-custodial, Avantis, non-custodial, this Glider, non-custodial. I honestly would not be surprised if Coinbase is sitting with U.S. legislators, talking to them, and U.S. legislators are saying that to be compliant in the future, that DeFi is, these platforms, these protocols are going to have to be non-custodial, because we've seen the issues. Whenever these centralized exchanges, a lot of these other DeFi protocols in the past that have gone under and they've taken people's assets with them, they're not going to stand for that. They're not going to stand for people's assets to be lost. So I highly suspect that this is going to be something that we're going to see more and more as non-custodial platforms that are going to survive. So non-custodial trading portfolios across chains, helping users manage crypto instruments with real-time rebalancing and zero friction. So let's actually click on this. Why Glider is the answer to DeFi's biggest challenges. Do you know where the biggest edge is in DeFi? No, it's not your ability to stake. They put stalk, but it's stake liquidity pools for hours. Oh no, it is stock. Or your uncanny knack for finding obscure meme coins before they moon. Although props for you for that, whatever. Your biggest edge, your strategies, your approach, your ability to create something new and valuable. That's what sets you apart. But let's be real, building and managing strategies in DeFi today, it's like trying to build IKEA furniture without instructions, frustrating, messy, and often leaving you with extra parts or missing a crucial one. Why is DeFi so hard right now? Bridges are confusing, gas fees make you wince, managing multiple wallets don't even get us started. For all its promise, DeFi has a UX or user experience problem. It's not built for most people. It's built for experts with time to burn. But what if we told you there's a better way? Enter Glider. Glider takes everything complicated about managing strategies, bridging, swapping, signing, rebalancing, and makes it seamless. Here's how it works. Build smarter strategies. Whether it's a strategy built with weighted market cap of your favorite tokens or a dynamic strategy reacting to market trends, you can create it with no code required. This is what we're talking about before, where Jeff was going through and doing the if else. That's what that is basically if this happens, then you do this. That's what you used to have to type out in code, but with this it's just a couple of clicks. Stay in control. Your strategies run in non-custodial vaults. Again, non-custodial. So you can pause, withdraw, or tweak them anytime. No middlemen, no stress. Skip the hassle. No need to swap tokens, bridge chains, or track gas fees. Glider handles it all behind the scenes. It's not just easier, it's smarter. Let's see. Why should I care? Because DeFi isn't just for whales and institutions, it's for anyone who wants to take control of their financial future. Glider makes it possible to create strategies that run themselves. Yes, even while you sleep. Access any token on any chain with zero headaches. Turn your ideas into real strategies that can build, test, and run effortlessly. We didn't stop at making DeFi easy. We're building a community of creators who share and improve each other's strategies. This is what we were talking about before, where you can, like, if I build out a portfolio strategy, I can share it with Jeff, or I can share it in our Discord. And instead of saying, hey, that pool that you were talking about, what's the address to that? I can just say, they can say, hey, that's a really cool portfolio you built, Mike. It's earning really good for you. Can you send me that? And I can just click, boom, put it in the Discord, and everybody can, basically copy my strategy. Think of Glider as GitHub for trading strategies, where anyone can fork, remix, and build something new. Follow top creators to see what's working and apply it to your strategy. Share your own strategies to help others. Collaborate to build smarter, better strategies together. Honestly, you might be able to build strategies and sell strategies. I don't know.
Oh shit. That would be powerful. Fuck.
Let's see.
Strategies as a service.
What else we got here? So yeah, this is different people that did different strategies here, just kind of showing off what they did.
Shit.
But anything that you find that is going to remove barriers to entry, in my experience, most of it has been in the military, but since getting out, I've worked for multiple companies at a very high level. And one thing that I've learned in business is almost every successful business, the larger the pain point that it addresses and fixes, the more successful that business is. With Windows, like I was mentioning before, before Windows and, a graphical user interface or a GUI, you had to learn coding. You had to learn another language basically to use a computer, just to do basic things on a computer. To build a calculator, you used to have to write lines of code so that you could have a calculator. But when Windows came out, that's why it was so groundbreaking. Is with a click, it was almost like a universal translator. People that didn't know how to write code could click on a button, it would automatically write the code for you and execute without you even seeing it. So if you double clicked on AOL, it would automatically open AOL. It would automatically connect you to the internet. It'd go connect you to the internet, and you would wait, 15 minutes while your porn picture showed up.
Yep.
But or your email open. Yeah. You'd slowly watch it come down, and a nipple.
Oh,
But
there it is.
but yeah, it's just that's what we're talking about here. Is the point that we're at in crypto. People are very bearish right now, and you don't understand where we're at in this technology. We are at the point with Windows 95, where we are at the birth of this, because up until recently, up until legislation started getting passed, this was all speculation. It was all claims, pie in the sky. This is what we're trying to solve, with Ripple and XRP. Very legitimate. What they set out to do years ago with the cross-border payments issue, 100%. I was all on board, because it is a huge pain point trying to send cross-border, payments and remittances. I mean, it takes, 1 to 2 weeks. It's expensive. Money gets lost. It's ridiculous. It's a massive pain point. That's why I invested in XRP at the beginning. But there is so much, like the ecosystem has evolved to where it's not, there's so many other options now. I mean, simple, compliant, government compliant stable coins can do a lot of the things. And that's why Ripple came out with RLUSD. I keep saying it. That's why Ripple came out with RLUSD, is stable coins are the future. That is where liquidity is going to be housed. I mean, look at crypto. To be able to buy any crypto, you have to start out with USDT, USDC, or a stable coin. What fuels DeFi is stable coins. Everything is backed by stable coins. It's the lifeblood of crypto. It's the liquidity behind it all. Anytime you sell USDT or USDC to buy Bitcoin, you're taking the liquidity from that USDT or USDC and converting it into Bitcoin and locking that liquidity into another form of currency. That's what's happening. And if you understand how that works, you'll understand why XRP is not needed anymore. And Ripple understands that. If XRP was going to go to $100 or $1,000, do you really think Ripple would be selling? They're about to unlock 1 billion tokens out of escrow this month. You think that they would sell a single XRP at like $2 and something cents if it was going to $100 or $1,000?
Hell no. Hell no.
They're selling that shit like hotcakes, and they're acquiring companies because they want to be a bank. They have RLUSD that they launched on Ethereum. 88% of RLUSD is on the Ethereum mainnet. It doesn't use XRP at all when it's on Ethereum mainnet. You need to understand the fundamentals. I don't hate XRP or XRP holders. I just want you to understand these things so that you don't get burned. I don't want you to be Ripple's exit liquidity or some influencer that's pumping XRP so they can dump on you. Keep a moon bag if you must, just in case I'm wrong. But please do not invest all of your money into XRP thinking that you're going to be a billionaire because it's going to $10,000. I beg you, please do not do that. Sorry, got off on a rabbit trail. I'm very passionate about that because day in and day out, I deal with people that do not understand what they hold.
Yeah, you're saving people and giving them a different perspective, pulling them out of their echo chamber.
Exactly. And believe it or not, I've had dozens of people reach out to me personally and thank me. They were like, after listening to you and reading what you post all the time, I really started looking and I realized that you were right. And I sold, not all, but a good portion of my XRP. And I'm like, you know what? Cool. If you did your own research and you saw that what I was saying was true, hats off to you that you were able to pull yourself out of that.
Yeah. I do need to jump off I got to get to the
Oh
store
shit!
before they
Yeah, no,
close.
dude,
Yeah.
it's been an hour 20. All right. Well, sorry I got off on a rabbit trail there. I get kind of passionate when I start talking about crypto. So actually, you know
It's
what?
always good information.
If you want to dip off, Jeff, I might hang out a little bit longer.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate you all. Have a safe Halloween weekend. Enjoy time with your kids. Don't eat all their candy. But I appreciate all of you, and Mike, I appreciate you, and I will see you Tuesday.
All right, man. We'll talk to you, brother.
All right, later.
All right. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat, and I'll answer them real quick. I'll hang out for a couple more minutes. So Linea, so Adamantav. So Linea is my understanding. I haven't done a deep dive on it, but my understanding from what I've read with Swift. So Swift entered into a partnership with Linea and with a Link. So what they're trying to do is Swift is wanting to upgrade their network. So obviously Swift is outdated. They're the ones that take, 1 to 2 weeks and expensive as shit, all the stuff I was talking about. So they're wanting to update and they want to use Linea and Link. My understanding is that Linea is going to be the messaging layer, secure messaging. So that's basically what the banks will use to send messages to each other to say, so-and-so, with this bank account wants to send this much money to this person at this bank, at this bank account. It basically, messages. I'll just leave it at that. Now, Link is an oracle. And what it does is it connects chains. And my understanding is by connecting chains to with Swift, that it will give access to all the different stable coins that Chainlink is connected to. So if there's USDC, USDT on Ethereum, they can access that liquidity. If it's on Plume, if it's on Optimism, if it's on Tron, if it's whatever chain on Base, wherever that liquidity is housed, potentially they could access that liquidity for the cross-border payments. So if I wanted to send USDC from one account to another account and they wanted it in whatever digital currency, the digital yuan, because what's starting to happen is countries like China, they already launched a digital yuan, their national currency. We don't have an official one yet here in the US, but potentially it could be USDC, it could be something else. But these different countries are starting to launch their own digital currencies or CBDCs. But what that's going to allow is instant finality. So if I send whatever, like we'll just say USDC is the US version of the US dollar. I'm just going to use it as an example. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. And I want to send money to China in US dollars, but they want the money on that end. Like say I'm buying a company in China. So I send them USDC, but they don't want it in USDC. They want to cash it out in the digital yuan. I send USDC, it hits their account as digital yuan because of liquidity pools. There's the liquidity there to where it swaps it. Send USDC, uses the USDC to the digital yuan liquidity pool, swaps it to the digital yuan, they cash it out. Bing, bang, boom, done. That is what banks, institutions, and governments want. They don't want to use something like XRP. If you send XRP, I don't care how fast it is. We've seen how the markets move. Even 1%, if you send $1 billion, and I use this example all the time, if you send $1 billion and sometime during the time that you initiate that transfer and the time that they get it, the price of XRP shifts by 1%, that's $10 million. So if I'm buying a company for $1 billion and I send, if I send, money to them via XRP on the XRPL, and I send 1 billion, and by the time it gets there, the price of XRP shifted even 1%. That's $10 million that I just lost, because they're not going to sell me the company. They're going to be like, okay, where's the rest of the money? And I got to come up with another $10 million. Banks and institutions told Ripple that. That is why Ripple launched RLUSD, because they understand that banks and institutions and governments aren't going to stand for a volatile asset to transfer value. It's just not going to happen. I don't know how else to tell you this. It is not going to happen. People are not going to take a chance of losing even 1% of the value when sending these large amounts of liquidity. Just not going to happen. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. But yes, sorry, Linea is the messaging layer of, part of what Swift is trying to build right now. So I get very passionate about it, because I all day long I am trying to snap people out of the cult of XRP to $10,000. I get very passionate. Apologies. Seth Shepard making some green tea. I'm an Earl Grey man myself. All right. What other questions you all got? Let's see what else we got here. I don't think I got much else I can show you all. Let's see. Did I close my window that had freaking... Oh, I don't think I freaking saved Glider. Choose another folder, DeFi. And let's add that to base. It's all about that base. What the hell? All right. Well, we'll just leave it there. All right. So let's go through this a little bit. So Jay, yes and no. So no, actually, you know what? It's not like Mamo. Mamo is an AI. This is an automation. So with AI, you just deposit and the AI does what it was programmed to do. This, you actually program it what you want to do without having to write code. It's basically drop downs. And so, man, I'm up to over a point. I got over a point worth of freaking points that I'm going to hopefully get some Glider. I want some of that sweet Glider token. All right. So we're going to skip all this. All right. So let's actually go here. So let's create a new portfolio. So let's actually specify percentages. Let's add an asset. Oh, let's add an asset. And we're going to say, let's do Bitcoin. And we'll do another asset. Let's do Aerodrome. Let's do another asset. And we'll pick Morpho. Another asset. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, we got a little bit of little universal SWI on base and Solana. I fucking love this, man. All right. So let's say I want to start building out a more responsible portfolio, that I want to have 50% Bitcoin. Let's say 20% Arrow, 20% Morpho, and then let's do 10% asset USDC. All right. So let's do this. And then let's do weight allocation if else. If else. So if all right, set condition. So choose function. So it can go off price, current market cap, volume, simple moving average, or exponential moving average. Let's go with current price. All right, let's delete this. All right, what did I do here? All right, so if this, else this. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do this when I'm not live. Again, I'm an old vet that lives in the woods that got hit in the head too many times. This is the kind of stuff that I got to like take my time and figure out because I don't want to steer you all wrong. I'm not going to pretend like I understand this. But again, I'm looking at the potential of this. So all of these drop downs, again, this is the beta. This is like the first or second day this has been live. But one thing I do understand is the potential. So I understand the tech behind this. And with this, as they add functionality, as they add chains, as they add access to different protocols, it's going to allow different functionality. And that functionality is going to be borrowing and lending and looping and trading and just all these different things. So you can have different portfolios. You can have a DeFi portfolio that does all your DeFi plays. You can have a trading portfolio that buys at certain levels and sells at certain levels. You can have your HODL portfolio that ladders out, like if you're waiting for the bull market, or the alt season when everything's going to take off, but you're worried like shit when I'm falling asleep, if everything starts freaking pumping, and dumps. I mean, kind of how we've seen already in this bull market. I mean, everything just happens in a blink of a freaking eye. And you miss everything if you're not just constantly watching it. We don't all have the luxury of just staring at our monitor all day long. So, to be able to automate these processes to where if you get a wick, to the downside, like you're wanting to, get a good entry on something and, you can just set some USDC in here to when it wicks down, you can say if the price of, say, Bitcoin, drops below $100,000, I want that $5,000 of USDC. I want $2,000 of it to buy Bitcoin. If it goes down to 90,000, I want another $2,000. If it goes to 80,000, I want that last 1,000 to buy Bitcoin. And you can set that to where it's automated, to where if you're at work, if you're sleeping, if you're whatever you're doing, if you're on a vacation, if you don't have connectivity because you went camping, you can set this stuff up to where it does it for you. And I cannot stress how powerful that this potentially could be. It's really going to depend on what the team does and how deep these integrations go with these different chains and different protocols. And, if it's able to access, the perps dexes, the borrowing and lending protocols, the trading protocols, just all these different mechanisms. That is what is going to make or break this project. So with that, let's see what we got here in the chat. Better Try Again says, from looking at the rebalances on bases, can every hour it will keep that percentage amount you set using the assets you added? Yes. So the very, very basic one that I have set up, I just have it set up to where it's going to constantly keep 80% in Aerodrome, and it's going to keep 20% in USDC. So it looks like Aerodrome has been dipping, and so it's been selling off Aerodrome and into USDC, or vice versa. Whatever. Anyway, you know what I mean. With that, thank you all. I appreciate you showing up. Appreciate you supporting the channel. If you could, please, if you aren't already, like, share the stream, and join the Discord, because there's a great group of people in there that are always happy to help. Till next time, Veteran Crypto out.